Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's head-to-head comparison, let's take a look at the 2025 BMW M340i and the 2025 Audi S5 Sportback. I borrowed these from Audi Northlake and Hendrick BMW Northlake, so take a look at their links down in the description, as well as the full detailed reviews, so you can see more driving impressions and more details with both of these models. Now let's start off with their MSRPs. The BMW starts at $59,600. In today's review, this model is just over $68,000. For the Audi, they start at $57,900, and in today's review, this one is just over $70,000. So they are fairly similarly spec'd with their MSRPs. Now for the BMW, this is powered by a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's also paired with a mild hybrid system along with the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 386 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. For the Audi, this has a 3-liter turbocharged V6 paired to an 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 349 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. Now the Audi is strictly all-wheel drive. For the BMW, you can get rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive for the M340. Now as far as their curb weights go, we have 3,900 pounds for both of them. 0 to 60 is going to be 4.1 seconds for the BMW, 4.3 for the Audi, and then they have similar top speeds at 155 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy goes, you're looking at 23 and 31 for the BMW, and then 20 and 29 for the Audi. So we have some very similar numbers for all of those specs. But as we work our way to the exterior styling, we have a lot of differences. For the BMW, there's the kidney grille. There's also a forward camera for this model, all the parking sensors, the sensor in the lower section for the distance pacing, lots of gloss black, even active grille shutters to provide more cooling. There's LEDs for all of the lighting up front, and then some small inlets on both sides. Now we have a lot of gloss black for the Audi as well. There's the forward-facing camera, all the parking sensors. For the distance pacing, those sensors are actually located on both sides. So you have 2 for the Audi there. LEDs for all of the lighting as well, large inlets on both sides. And then as you can tell, we have 2 lines coming down the hood for the BMW and then 4 for the Audi. So much differently shaped, but we have kind of similar characteristics, especially with the white and all of the black. Now as we work our way to the side designs, you can get a few different wheel options. This model has the blue M Sport brakes along with a gloss black wheel, and then we have the red S-Line brakes with that 2-tone design for the Audi. Now there is the S5 badge just behind that. There's power folding side mirrors with the camera and the turn signal finished off in gloss black, and then we have the exact same thing for the BMW, just a little bit different of a shape. Now there's also a sunroof for both of these models, and you will notice on the Audi we have more gloss black up top versus just the sunroof on the top of the BMW. Now we do have a little bit of a difference for their side design, of course. The BMW is more of a normal or traditional sedan. So we have the trunk there versus the Sportback design for the Audi. Now both of these have some very nice lines that run down the side. We have them at the height of the door handles along with the lower section and the side skirts there. So as we work our way to the back of the BMW, this has a gloss black spoiler. There's the backup camera, LEDs, more gloss black with the dual exhaust, all the parking sensors. This also has remote start too. And then as we take a look at the cargo space, we have that normal trunk, which is power operating. In back, you have a good bit of space. There's some storage bins on both sides. There's no storage or spare underneath the floor there. You do have the option of folding down these back seats, so that way you can put in some larger items, and then you have the 2 buttons up top to close or lock the vehicle. Now as we look at the Audi, we have a gloss black spoiler as well, backup camera, all of the LEDs. This has a quad tip dual exhaust versus just the dual exhaust system like the BMW. There is some gloss black in the lower section, and you have the option of doing the remote start too. Now with the S5, this is the Sportback. So you have the entire glass that opens up, which is the biggest distinction with both of these models. You do have storage pockets on both sides, and unlike the BMW, you get a spare underneath the floor. You could use that for maybe a little bit of storage, and then you can also fold down the back seats, but you have this very large opening to put in even larger items. So if practicality is high on your list, you do have more space with the Audi versus the BMW. But as we work our way to the back now, we have the proximity door handles, and then interiors are going to vary just depending on options. But for this model, there's Harman Kardon interior lighting, some blue accents too, which you'll notice are throughout all of the stitching there. And at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. Now there's no storage pockets behind the front seats. You have vents, all of your temperature adjustments, auxiliaries down below. And then I have maybe ½ inch or so of headroom, but I can sit upright, barely touch the headliner there. For this smaller vehicle, it's not bad for adults to be in the back. Now right in the middle, there's the armrest with the cup holders. There's also the middle seat, which can be folded down individually if you need to do that. And then we have a small pillar there, pretty large window on both sides, so that way you can easily see around. And then as we work our way to the S5, this does have proximity door handles too, so you can lock and unlock this from the back. This model gets some suede red stitching, Bang & Olufsen for the audio, carbon fiber accents are on the back seats too, and then we have the red interior, which again, just depends on how you want to spec it. Now at my height, I have plenty of space. You do get storage pockets. You have vents, temperature adjustments, auxiliaries down below. And then I would say I have maybe about the same amount of headroom. I think it's a little bit better in the BMW because we have that Sportback design. It does dip down slightly, but I could still ride around and be comfortable. I think these seats are also a little bit lower, so that way it gives you that added height. Now for this armrest, you get a little bit of storage with the individual cup holders. And then just like the BMW, you can fold down this middle seat and use that as needed. And then you have a little bit more of a pillar there, but you still have some large windows on both sides so you can see around. Now I have full detailed reviews on these models, so I'm just going to highlight some of the key features. Memory seating adjustments, heated side mirrors, trunk release, a little bit of storage there. This model also gets massaging seats, so you have those adjustments. And then this has the solid and perforated leather steering wheel. There's also paddle shifters too. And then we have the heated steering wheel adjustment. There's tuning, volume, Bluetooth, and voice commands. On this left side, this is how you can go through the virtual cockpit. So you have a lot of information that you can look at here, just depending on what you would like to see. And you have the option of bringing that up in full screen, so you can further go through this information with those two different angles. You have your cruise, distance, pacing. You get storage on this side. All of your headlight adjustments. There's no head-up display on this model. And then with the infotainment system, you have a lot of these icons you can go through. Shortcuts are on this left side too, so you can get through all of that information. You do get another LCD screen in the lower section for all of your climates. So you can go through all of that. You have heated seats, temperature adjustments too. You have different driving modes, so you can go through all of these depending on how you would like to drive. There's the engine start stop, traction control, parking sensors. You get some auxiliaries with storage and cup holders. And then with the 360 camera system, you have quite a lot that you can look at. So you can go around all of these angles here, just depending on what you'd like to see. You can shift using the shifter or those paddles. You get volume. Wireless charging is located in the armrest there, where you have some auxiliaries, and then you have plenty of space in the glove box. There's garage door buttons up top, touch sensitive dome lights, and then the sunroof and sunshade are automatic. And then here's a look at visibility over both shoulders. It's pretty easy to see. So even with the design of this Sportback, from the driver's seat, it's really not that hard to see. So working our way to the BMW now, for a similar price, you get the memory seating adjustments, no heated side mirrors. However, I heard that is standard and maybe just built in, but there's no actual control for that. You have some storage in the lower section, no massaging seats for this model, so we just have a little bit different of a design. And then we have a flat bottom steering wheel that's solid leather. All the brushed accents, very similar controls. So cruise, distance, pacing are located up top, and then we have controls to go through the gauge cluster here. So just like the Audi, you have a lot of content that you can scroll through, and then you can change the view by going into the layout. So it's just a little bit different of a design, and in this model you do get a head-up display. So you can go through all of those functions as needed. I believe that's an option for the Audi. Now, no storage over here like the Audi. You have all the headlight adjustments with one air vent, and then the large curved screen. So a much different design. You do have a rotary dial down below, so that way you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system like over on the Audi. So you have quite a lot here, similar functions to get into everything. Heated seat is going to be in the screen though, and this model does have heated seats too. So that is a little bit different. You have air vents, power and volume. You have wireless charging in front of the cup holders, and then we do have a different shifter. But we have the 360 camera system, automatic parking, backup assistance. You can go through all of these just to get the angles that you would like. So with this model here, you can't actually shift using the shifter. So in sport mode, it is just for the paddle shifters. You have some other controls here: engine start stop, parking sensors, traction control, and then you do get a few different driving modes just like in the Audi. So you can go through those as needed. You have your e-brake, a little bit more storage I would say in the armrest there. Glove box is going to be about the same. And then up top, garage door buttons, dome lights, and then the controls are automatic for the sunshade and sunroof. And then visibility is probably going to be about the same. I think you get a little bit more over that left shoulder compared to in the Audi, just from its overall shape. But with the exteriors and interiors wrapped up for the M340 and the S5 Sportback, let's get both of these out on the road and see how they drive. So let's start off behind the wheel for the 340, sport mode, second gear. Here we go. And just a mild acceleration. Paddles are very responsive. Again, you can take a look at the full detailed reviews for more driving impressions. It's going to be a short test drive for today. But the 340 is a very popular sporty sedan from BMW. It also has a lot of tuning potential, a lot of following with this vehicle as far as putting more power to it, doing modifications, and just things like that. It's a really driver-focused sedan that's also practical for your family too. It's going to be very comfortable to drive too, so even in the sport setting, it's not a harsh ride. This is something that is very, very daily driver friendly. It also has a pretty tight turning radius too, and it also sounds really good. You can throw on an aftermarket exhaust to really get those pops to amplify, and it's just a really nice seating position, a really nice vehicle to drive. You have a lot of options to go with. We do have this large curved screen, which isn't everyone's favorite. I've been starting to get used to it the more that I drive the newer model BMWs here, but I do like some of the physical buttons that are in the Audi. So if that's something that you are drawn to more, obviously you have different options to go with. But it's a super nice vehicle, and I've been able to drive these quite a lot. So you have a lot that you can do with the 340. You have plenty of space and just a really nice performance, luxury-focused vehicle. It's very comfortable and smooth to drive, and it's definitely going to give you a lot for your money. So let's hop into the S5 now and see how it differs. And behind the wheel now for the S5, we'll give it a small acceleration and we're up to speed. Again, check out the full detailed reviews for more driving impressions. But with the S5, we have a much different interior and layout, but I will say the drive is going to be fairly similar. Now, it sounds like the Audi is a little bit louder than the BMW, but aftermarket exhaust can help that. In the stock form though, I think this is a little bit louder, which is interesting to see. Usually BMWs have a good tone to them. In the last few years, it's kind of flip-flopped with Audi getting a little bit louder, it seems like. But this is still a great vehicle to drive. It's going to be very similar to the BMW as far as just daily driving goes. We have the massaging seat, however, which is an added plus for a similar price. And it's a very nice luxury interior and feel. So just like the BMW, it's going to provide you with that luxury ride. You just get a little bit of added practicality with the rear hatch design. Other than that, and the layout and all the tech and everything is kind of similar, just in a much different layout. But this is a great option. I like the perforated leather. I think it gives it a good feel. And then having the solid, you don't have the flat bottom design though, which is interesting. I do like that better in the BMW. So interesting why we don't see that in this model, but it's a great place to be, and it's just going to make for a great daily driver. So you really have two good options. So back from our test drives now with the Audi S5 Sportback and the BMW M340i. I know those were short test drives. Again, you can take out a look at the full detailed reviews for more driving impressions with both of these models. Biggest difference is the Sportback design in the S5. So you can't buy this with just a normal trunk like the 340. So if you want a little bit more space, you like that overall design, you can go with that to get that added practicality, but you have a great vehicle with the 340 nonetheless. Both of these are going to be super practical. Just depends on the items that you have. Maybe if you want to put a bike or something in the back of the Audi, you have the extra room to put in some larger items like that. But as far as how they drive, they are both going to be pretty similar. As you heard with the specs earlier, we have very similar performance with both of these. You do get more power with the BMW, however. You have a few other options, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, things like that. So it just depends on the options that you like, the exterior and interior styling. Comment down below, would you rather have the S5 Sportback or the M340i? Let me know your thoughts and why. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.